Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new series. I don't know what to call it, but we're just going to call it a movie review series, Um, I'll work out a better name in the future, but for now it's just called movie reviews. So, yeah. Um, in this series, I'll review movies. I might get someone else in to help me review movies, Just not even new ones, just old movies. I'm going to start with some new ones because no shit, Sherlock. But yeah, I might get Joe in to review Harry Potter. Like he's seen that a lot. If we eventually do that, if the series goes well with these videos that I'm going to be doing, I can confirm the next two episodes will be A Quiet Place 2 and Spiral from the Book of Saw. Both of them I've seen. I'm working on the script for them both. And yeah, but I thought I'd start with The Conjuring. I'm not sure if you guys know this or not, but I love horror movies. I've seen a shit ton. Yeah, like, I think it was years ago now, probably nearly 10 years ago. I was asked to watch 100 horror movies in a week, or I was dared to actually, by somebody who you guys know fairly well if you have watched the channel before, Jack. He said, watch 100 horror movies in a month. I did it in a week. Yeah, so I've seen a few. Yeah, like I said, that was nearly 10 years ago. I've watched horror movies ever since. So, yeah. But yeah, I thought we'd start off with The Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Because it's a Conjuring movie. And yeah, I just thought that one there will be the good first episode. So the way this is going to work, we're going to start off non-spoilery for new movies, just because they're new. So if people want to see them without getting spoilers, you can still watch the video. I might try and timestamp when we go into the spoilery part, but for now we'll just keep it like, we'll see. But for now we're just going to do the non-spoilers. Yeah, so to start off without spoilers, the movie was good. Wasn't great or anything like that. It was alright. It wasn't, not something that I would watch again in a hurry, unless I was going to be watching the entire series. If I was watching the entire series, then yeah, sure, let's put it on. Bang, let's go. If it's just like, oh, let's go and watch that, I've already seen it. I might not. But yeah, no, it wasn't bad. It was just not as good as the others. I think what really didn't help that was I'd read up on the Devil Made Me Do It case before I watched the movie, just so I could have a better understanding for what the movie was going for. And they changed a fair bit out of it, actually. Yeah, so yeah, it got changed a fair bit. So yeah, it was all right anyway. Just yeah. This bit's a bit of a spoiler, but I thought I'd better talk about it here, just because for those of you who haven't seen it and do want to go and see it, I don't want to mislead you. Like, even if you're not going to watch the spoilery bit of this video, I don't want to mislead you for what the movie actually is, like they do in the trailers. Like it's not a demon that they're dealing with. Like, yeah, if you think that it's like the first two movies where there's a demon, you're gonna be disappointed. Because it's not a demon. There is a demon. It's the background character. It's not even a threat, really. Like, it's yeah. Um, but yeah, it's actually all about a cult, which it's not really a cult. It's just one person, and a cultist. Um, yeah. So it's yeah. There's a demon. The demon is uh, like not not a threat. It's it's more the occultist because the occultist summons the demon and you know tells it who to go after. So if you're not the person that the demon is after, then it doesn't matter. Like you're not going to be in trouble. So yeah, it's an occultist, not a demon. So if you're going into it thinking the devil made me do it case, you've read up on it, you know what it's all about. It's not that. It isn't. It really isn't. So if the whole reason why you're watching it was I want to see this case play out on the screen, it doesn't. Not really. Like it does as a sort of side plot in the end. Like it really does turn into a side plot in the end. The whole case. So yeah. But yeah, I guess to end this spoiler-free part of the review, say that there are some good jump scares. If you haven't seen it or the other Conjuring movies, Annabelle and all that included, then it's worth watching. If you haven't seen any of them and this is your first one, then I'd suggest watching the other ones first because they're pretty much all of them better. But yeah, like, if you gotta maybe do watch it, I don't know, you probably won't understand a lot of it. Um, as far, yeah, no, they don't really introduce the characters, but your main characters and Moraine because you already know who they are from the other movies. So yeah, definitely watch the other ones before you watch this. I reckon. Um, the only problem with that is that you're going to be, thinking that it's going to be like that where we have demons and whatnot, but no. Overall, to give it a star rating, probably a 3.5 out of 5. It's about average. But yeah, so let's move into the spoiler review. So I will give a countdown from 5 seconds so that you guys can get out of here. So yeah, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right, so the spoiler-free, the spoiler-free review is done. We're into the spoiler review. The movie starts with a rip-off to The Exorcist with the priest pulling up in the taxi, looking, you get the whole shot through the window and all that. Completely ripped off from The Exorcist at the start, just with a different priest. We go inside, see that David Glatzel is possessed, and the Warrens, the priest, and the family are trying to do an exorcism. Eventually, the demon breaks free, and Arn Johnson, who the case is about, tells the demon to leave David alone and take him. It does. During the exorcism, the demon gives Ed a heart attack, which puts him in a comatose state for a while. A month or so after the exorcism, Arn begins to feel sick, which eventually leads him to killing his landlord. This is where the actual case differs from the movie. The movie has Arn and his girlfriend Debbie, which is David's sister, living in a house above the dog kennel where Debbie works for free. In the actual case, or reality, they live somewhere else and not for free. The landlord's getting drunk and he forces Arn to drink, which also didn't happen. Eventually, Arn goes to leave, but he's It seems like he's just teleported into a different dimension of the same place. Um, and he's getting attacked by this demon. It looks, it's self defense pretty much. But it turns out that his landlord Bruno. So apart from a few deviations, it's pretty good. Been some good jump scares. All make sense. Yeah. So obviously, when he's defending himself from the demon, he's actually killing his landlord. After the murder, the Warrens tell Arm's defense attorney that the court needs to start acknowledging the existence of the devil, since they acknowledge the existence of God, and the Warrens believe that he was possessed when he killed Bruno. The next little bit's quite funny, where the Warrens invite the defense attorney over to prove the existence of evil, because she doesn't believe them. So they say, come over and have tea, and we'll we'll show you some evil. And so it sort of just cuts from that conversation to her leaving, or I think to her showing up, to her leaving, and then sort of in court, like, oh shit. Yeah, she says that the jury isn't going to buy it unless they find proof, and Arn's looking at the death penalty. That's the one. The Warrens go and discover that there's a witch's totem under the Glatzel house, which caused the possession of David. They also find a satanic curse attached to the totem, which sends them to meet with a retired priest. His name is Kastner. He previously dealt with the Disciples of the Ram cult, which is the cult that Annabelle's from. So a good little tie back there. So he says that the totem was deliberately placed under the house to cause the possession. And to prove that Arm was possessed, the Warrens head to Danvers, Massachusetts to get a case file which would help the case. However, the cops say that the only way they're going to get the file is if they help with the investigation of Katie Lincoln, who died in the same way as the landlord. The only reason why that happened was because they mentioned that Lorraine has powers that can help solve this sort of shit. Lorraine uses the psychic abilities to find out that Katie's friend Jessica, who is missing, was possessed, killed Katie before committing suicide by jumping off a cliff. This allows the cops to find her body, and the Warrens get the file. After they go to the funeral home so that Lorraine can touch Jessica's hand and use her abilities to try and find out where the occultist is. They don't exactly figure out where the occultist is. They just sort of Lorraine walks around where she is, but there's a few clues as to where they are, but they don't know, because that would be too easy for this part of the movie. Anyway. Lorraine figures out that the occultist is trying to get Arn to kill himself, which Lorraine stops from happening, obviously. It's also revealed that Lorraine's abilities work both ways, and the occultist can see her too. So this whole middle part with the totem and whatnot is just made for the movie. Got nothing to do with the actual case, which is quite annoying because it takes away from the case, and it's not as, not as, what's the word? I don't feel like I'm interested. It's not as interesting, that's the one. But, yeah, Um, yeah, it's more padding for the movie because obviously you can't just sort of have what happened in real life. You need something else in the middle here, and they did a good job, but it could have been better. Um, yeah, so stuff with Kastner is a good callback to Annabelle. Also, Kastner is played by John Noble. You guys might know him as Denethor from Lord of the Rings. Um, that's cool. As soon as I saw it, like, I was sitting in the cinema watching it, and I went, "That's Denethor." And then when the movie finished, I looked it up, and yeah, it is. It's Denethor, which is awesome because I love Lord of the Rings. So yeah. Right, we'll move on with the movie. So, when the Warrens return home, they find out that the occultist has sent them flowers. They don't know it's from the occultist, but they find out pretty quickly when in the vase is another totem. Um, yeah, and the occultist is trying to use Ed to kill Lorraine. He's stopped, and the um, curse on Ed is broken for now. They then discover that the occultist is operating in the area, and the only way to lift the curse is to destroy the altar that she works off of. Yeah, it is a she, by the way. Lorraine heads to Kastner's house again to get his help. Kastner reveals that he had a daughter, which is in violation of his vow of celibacy. So he had to keep a secret. Um, and during his research into the Disciples of the Ram, his daughter got obsessed with the occult, and she is the occultist. Kastner then lets Lorraine into the sewers where the occultist's altar is before the occultist shows up and kills her father. Gandalf the Grey, or White, whatever, stands there and says, "So passes Denethor, son of Ecthelion." Oh wait, no, he doesn't. That's the wrong movie. Whoops. Shit. I got carried away there. Um, damn. Should probably cut that, shouldn't I? Shit. Sorry. Yeah, anyway. Probably won't cut that because it's quite funny, I think. Yeah, so the occultist chases Lorraine through the sewers, and at this point, Ed shows up and busts his way in through a different way. But he gets possessed again. So as he's about to kill Lorraine, she reminds him of the first time they met, which Ed then sort of breaks the curse and destroys the altar, which actually breaks the curse. However, the occultist promised the demon a soul, so the demon kills her and gets her soul, goes back to hell. Which is what I mean by it doesn't. We haven't seen the demon in ages. Like, he had a couple of scenes here and there, because obviously Arn went to prison. So we had a couple of scenes with him in prison, and the demon shows up a couple of times, but it's not even worth mentioning, really. There's nothing that really happens other than the occultist tries to get Arn to kill himself while being possessed. That's it. Like, I mentioned that Lorraine stopped the occultist from having him killed, so that's really all we have to do. We haven't talked about the case in forever. Like, it's just a plot that's so far in the back that it doesn't matter anymore. Like, the whole thing that the movie's based on becomes a subplot. So that's what I mean by it's disappointing. It's just a subplot. The Devil Made Me Do It is a subplot. But, yeah. To close the movie, Ed places the cut from the altar in the haunted artifacts room before showing Lorraine a replica of the gazebo that they first kissed in. We also see that Arn is convicted of manslaughter, but only serves 5 years. That's what happened in real life as well. He was convicted of manslaughter, served 5 years. But yeah, that's the movie, and it was good. Definitely moving away from the source material and sidelining the demon to a puppet. Like, he literally is just a puppet. It just took away from the movie. The entire tagline for the movie, I guess it is, because it's Conjuring 3, The Devil Made Me Do It. Like, that whole thing, tagline, whatever, is just a subplot. The entire thing that everything is based around in the trailers and all that is a side plot. But yeah, like I said, it was enjoyable. It was alright. It was, not as good as the other Conjuring movies, so don't go into it thinking that it will be. But yeah, I'd give it, like I said, 3.5 out of 5 stars. But yeah, so yeah. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this movie review. Let me know in the comments how I can make these better. If you want them to be longer, shorter, have more information from what happened, less, I don't care. Whatever you want me to do, I will try and do. It's going to make these better. But yeah, also let me know what you thought of the movie in the comment section if you've seen it. And yeah, other than that, like, share, subscribe to the channel, hit notification bell, follow the Facebook, Twitter, and Twitch links, those are in the description. And other than that, thanks for watching, goodbye, and good night.